Good evening, and thank you for attending tonight's event, where Waco ISD has the opportunity to celebrate our single greatest assets, our teachers. I am honored to present to you the 2014-2015 Waco ISD Outstanding Teachers of the Year. Thank you. You may be seated. There are many people responsible for tonight's celebration, but I want to take the time to thank a few of them individually. Thank you to the entire staff of Waco High for being such gracious hosts this evening. A special thank you to the band members from Indian Spring Middle School for being the ushers for tonight's event. And the beautiful music as you entered this evening was courtesy of the talented Tennyson Middle School Intermediate Orchestra led by Director Valerie Clem. Tonight, the colors are being presented by the Waco High JROTC Color Guard, led by Sergeant Major Jones, consisting of Right Guard Cadet Private First Class Gus Garcia, American Flag Cadet Private First Class Andy Fabian, Texas Flag Cadet Private First Class Cana Guerrero, Waco High JROTC School Flag Cadet Captain Aram Medina, Left Guard Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Amy Ramos. I would like to ask everyone to please stand for the presentation of colors and remain standing for the pledge led by Christian Bogus, a third grader from Alta Vista Elementary.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in a round of applause for both the Waco High JROTC Color Guard and Christian Bogus from Alta Vista Elementary. You may be seated. Thank you. We would like to begin tonight's celebration with a few words of reflection from the district's 2013-2014 Teachers of the Year. Mrs. Haley Dean from Lake Air Montessori as the outstanding elementary teacher, and Mrs. Jennifer Coons representing Tennyson Middle School as the outstanding secondary teacher. First, Ms. Haley Dean.
Good evening. Put this down. First of all, I would like to congratulate all of the outstanding teachers on this stage. The recognition you are getting tonight is well-deserved. It is immeasurable, the impact that you've had on students in shaping their futures. You are beyond valuable to our district and to your students for the education for our rising generation. An incredible and inspirational educator once said, "Every child deserves a champion." And an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be. Rita Pearson had it right when she said that every child needs someone in their corner fighting for him to become his best. A champion is an advocate, a supporter, a defender, a promoter, and a winner. On this stage, we have many champions, outstanding ones, in fact. In the audience, I see many champions as well in different forms. I see teachers, I see administrators, I see school secretaries, I see aides, and I see parents. Each of them are fighting for the child to believe in himself and supporting him when he struggles, celebrating his victories, even those little small ones, and defending his ability even when others doubt, and advocating for him when no one else will. Every child deserves a champion. We know some kids might need more than one champion. In fact, they may need a whole village of champions who take turns being the positive force driving them towards their best. And when they're going down that wrong road, they don't need motivation to speed up. What they need is that persevering adult to change their direction and not wash their hands of them. What they need is education to turn them around. That education comes from the champion who understands the power of connecting. Building relationships and making connections with students is the repeated training we've gone to over and over and over again. And it's almost to the point where it's a cliche. But how did it become that cliche? It shouldn't be. We've heard it from Harry Wong, Ruby Payne, Robert Marzano, and James Comer has the most perfect way of saying it. No significant learning can occur without a significant relationship. That significant relationship stretches far beyond the curriculum. In fact, that relationship is the bridge between what you teach and your students' success. A positive relationship is commonly cited in association with effective instruction. The lack of a connection with your students will negate any beautiful dog and pony show lesson that you carefully planned and executed. But through genuine connections, you provide them with a place to feel physically and emotionally safe, and equally important, intellectually safe. A place where they can grow, challenge themselves, take refuge, and discover their abilities. Educators, I want you to stop and think of your most difficult student at this moment. Now ask yourself, can you recall the most basic facts? Do you know their birthday? Do you know their favorite color? Do you know what sports team they play? What book are they reading? Knowing these things is the difference of you being their teacher and you being their champion. So love them, care for them, take interest in their activities, and appreciate them for who they're striving to become. In my 12 years as an educator, there has been innumerable lessons I've delivered, field trips I've planned, countless hours spent lesson planning, mountains and mountains of papers I've graded, but none of that matters, because what I hope my students will remember me for is that I cherished them and I pushed them to become the best they could possibly be. They could only know that level of compassion from the relationship we built. Those relationships were built on trust, patience, honesty, encouragement, and determination. So as we celebrate you, the outstanding teachers of 2014, I ask that you honor them for their unwavering dedication to their students and be the positive force in your students' lives, just as these teachers have. And remember that every child needs a champion, so be their champion. Thank you.
And now Ms. Jennifer Coons.
Welcome, and thank you for taking the time out of your evening to come out here to help us honor these wonderful teachers. I learned early on that there are two types of teachers, those that do what is needed in order to make it to the end of the day, and those that do everything necessary to see that each and every student that they run across makes it to the end of the day. Those are the teachers you see before you tonight. These teachers have decided that teaching is not just a way to put food on their table. Rather, it is a lifestyle that they have chosen. They have decided the love and the passion they have in their hearts is more than they can keep to themselves. Instead, they selflessly give time, energy, and an endless amount of encouragement to every student that they can get their hands on. They set goals for themselves and their students, and then do everything possible to go above and beyond that goal. These teachers before you tonight understand what the meaning of caring truly is. Any person can make sure that their own make it through, but it takes someone extremely special to lose time and sleep over so many that are not their own. To push and struggle right along with them as they discover academically and jump up and down from pure glee beside them when the success begins to enter their life. Those are these teachers. These teachers before you inspire, they lift, they encourage, they laugh, they cry, and they shake their heads, sometimes all within the same hour, but they never, ever give up. They spend countless hours searching for that special something that will make the difference in the brightest child in their classroom, as well as the toughest they have to reach. And when it doesn't work, they're not afraid to start all over again. They work hard to build relationships with every student and light as many fires academically as they possibly can. There's a quote that I love, and it speaks of a particular type of teacher, one that works hard to build a bridge of knowledge, of love, of success, of all the things necessary to flourish in life. This teacher builds the bridge for their students, but instead of holding their hand and helping them to cross over, they teach them everything necessary to cross that bridge on their own and become the true leader of their own achievements. Those are these teachers you see before you tonight. Congratulations, each and every one of you, and thank you for the love you share with our children each and every day.
Thank you so much to both Mrs. Dean and Ms. Coons for being here. At this time, I'm honored to introduce Waco ISD's Superintendent, Dr. Bonnie Kane, who will bring you greetings.
Good evening, and thank you for helping us recognize and celebrate with 24 of Waco ISD's best teachers. The men and women we honor tonight chose teaching as their vocation because of their undying love for learning and a special calling to educate and shape tomorrow's leaders. Even more impressive is the fact that tonight's honorees represent more than 300 years of teaching experience. Outstanding teachers, you are in the spotlight this evening because your coworkers have noticed your professionalism in the classroom and your undeniable passion for being an effective educator. They have also witnessed the mutual love, respect, and admiration that is apparent between you and your students. Most importantly, they have noticed how your students grow in knowledge and self-confidence every day because of the wonderful things that are happening inside of your classrooms. Next spring, 2 of you will be chosen to represent Waco ISD in the Regional Elementary and Secondary Teacher of the Year Awards process. We obviously don't know who those 2 will be, but one thing is for certain. Because they will come from this group of 24, there is no doubt that Waco ISD will be well represented by 2 absolutely superb teachers. Congratulations, and enjoy your special evening. Thank you, and welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Kane. I would like to recognize a special group in attendance with us this evening. Waco ISD Board of Trustee members joining us are President Pat Adkins, Vice President Alan Sykes, Secretary Norman Manning, Mr. Larry Perez, Mrs. Angela Tikel, and Mr. Kerry Dupuy. At this time, I'm honored to introduce to you Mr. Pat Adkins, President of the Waco ISD Board of Trustees, to give an official greeting from the board.
On behalf of the Waco School Board, thank you for joining us tonight as we honor the very best educators in Waco ISD. Let me ask you a couple of questions. How many of you in the audience this evening are teachers? Keep your hands up. The rest of you, how many of you have a member of your family, a spouse, a parent who's a teacher? You can put your hands down. My wife is a teacher in Waco ISD. And so all of you who just held up your hands know what I know. You know how incredibly hard our teachers work. The late hours and weekends, preparing lesson plans, grading papers, inputting grades. And you also know something else. There are few, if any, jobs in our community that are more challenging or more important than our public school teachers. To our honorees, congratulations. This is one of my favorite nights of the school year. I love sitting on stage and listening to the anecdotes and the observations of the students you serve, the parents you engage, and the colleagues with whom you work. It is truly inspiring. And I'm going to share with you something that I have never talked about publicly. I received a similar honor. Back in 2000, the local Bar Association recognized me as the outstanding young lawyer. You decide for yourself whether being called outstanding by a bunch of lawyers is really an honor. But that's beside the point, because I remember getting to share my excitement with family members. I remember calling my mother-in-law and hearing her say, just outstanding? I remember telling my children, who couldn't believe that the local bar association, or anyone else for that matter, actually thought their father was young. And so I hope your special night tonight goes better than mine did. And on behalf of the school board and the community we serve, I want to thank you for sharing your talents with our children. Congratulations on this well-deserved honor. And to our audience, welcome and thank you as we honor these exceptional educators.
Thank you, Mr. Adkins. Waco ISD is strongly connected with the city of Waco and our surrounding communities. One example of this is our enduring partnership with our local Chamber of Commerce. Joining us tonight is Mr. Matthew Metters, President and CEO of the Greater Waco Chamber of Commerce, to speak on behalf of the community.
Good evening. Pat, I want you to know that I have a mother-in-law similar to your mother-in-law, so I can feel your pain a little bit. Well, it's really an honor for me to be able to join you folks this evening and be a part of this celebration and this ceremony. On behalf of the Chamber's Board of Directors, I bring to you this evening a message of congratulations and a message of thanks. Thanks to all of the educators who spend time teaching, spend time educating our young people. And I want you to know that we just went through a strategic planning session Monday and Tuesday. And one of the consistent themes that kept coming up was the issue of education and workforce development and training. And clearly this is an important issue to the business community and the community as a whole. And what's interesting is this is nothing new. I've been around for a while and I've been in this industry for a long time. And I remember as a young person when I first started out, I did a little bit of research. I was curious about this industry that I was working in, and curious about the history of the community and the history of the Chamber of Commerce I was working at when I was in Michigan. So I went back 40 years, and I pulled out newsletters 40 years back. And it's remarkable the consistency of the issues that were in those newsletters. And one of those issues, of course, was consistently education. And so the work that you do as educators is unbelievably important, and the people that you teach and spend your time with and you mentor are the individuals who keep going out those doors and taking leadership positions in the community, taking over businesses, becoming entrepreneurs, becoming the workers that build the future. So we can't overstate how important the work that you do is. And for those of you on this stage tonight who are being recognized by the school board and by your peers for outstanding work, my message is simply thank you and congratulations to you for the work that you do and for the recognition that you've earned this evening, and know that you're appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Metters. We would like to express appreciation to those in the community who have made this evening possible. Community Bank and Trust, HEB Plus, Waco 1, Penley Party Productions, Greg May Honda, Baylor University School of Education, Kiwanis Club of Waco Seniors, Peter Piper Pizza, and Child Nutrition Services Sodexo. We also have 3 other special businesses that we would like to recognize. George Chase of Insurers of Texas, who presents a $1,000 award to the District Outstanding Elementary Teacher of the Year. Richard Carr of Richard Carr Motors, who each year presents a $1,000 award to the District Outstanding Secondary Teacher of the Year. This award is given in loving memory of Mr. Gordon Roundtree. And Joe Nesbitt of Central National Bank, who each year presents a $1,000 award to the Outstanding Waco ISD Principal of the Year, which will be awarded in the spring. Let's give each of them a round of applause. What better way to understand what it means to be a teacher than to hear from their students? I would like to introduce 2 students who will tell us what a teacher means to them. First, Christian Allen, who attended Lake Air Montessori prior to becoming a high school student here at Waco High.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christian Allen, a former student of Lake Air Montessori and currently a sophomore at Waco High School. Tonight, it gives me pleasure to tell the story of an anxious 7th grader, nervous about a transition to a new school. She had always been a more reserved kid, choosing to sit by herself and doing minimal social activity, if none at all. This girl was able to change into the more confident, proud person who is now involved in many activities, including academic decathlon, student council, Spanish club, and varsity cheerleading, all because of one teacher who dramatically changed her life. That girl was me, and that teacher was Mrs. Haley Dean. The morning of my first day of 7th grade approached me all too quickly. All summer, I had been dreading going to a new school, and I was very worrisome. As I slowly walked to the dreaded classroom, foolishly hoping somehow I could avoid this situation, I thought about how I could somehow overcome this fear. But all my fears were washed away the minute Miss Dean greeted me in the doorway. My very first impression was, gosh, she smiles a lot, and wow, is her hair red? Her cheery expression and kind words made me feel immediately at ease. As the school year progressed, Mrs. Dean quickly caught onto my problem of speaking to people. Every day, she would make sure I was comfortable and would always encourage me. In the same frightful classroom I was so nervous about, I found myself slowly opening up more and taking part in class discussions, and I was even making friends. All of this would not have been possible if not for Mrs. Dean. 8th grade year, I wasn't lucky enough to have Mrs. Dean as my homeroom teacher again, but I was lucky enough to have her as my algebra teacher, and I thank God she was. I won't lie, I have a really hard time with math, and if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have passed the algebra EOC. Not only is Mrs. Dean a caring person, she is also really great at teaching. She makes sure that everyone in the class knows what's going on, and if they need extra help, she even stays after school for tutoring. Mrs. Dean not only teaches her students, but she connects with us on a personal level. You can really tell that she truly cares for every student that steps foot in her classroom. She has the ability to make you truly feel special. William Arthur Ward once said, "The mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, the great teacher inspires." Throughout my school career, I had my fair share of mediocre, good, and even a few superior teachers. But Mrs. Dean was the first teacher I had that truly was great. If not for her, I wouldn't be the person I am today. She helped build my confidence, and for that reason, I was inspired to stand here before you tonight and deliver this speech. So, ladies and gentlemen, if anyone deserved the title of Teacher of the Year, it was Mrs. Haley Dean, for she is a great teacher. Thank you.
And now, Mr. Walter Pollard of Tennyson Middle School.
Good evening, Waco ISD staff, school board members, Dr. Kane, honored guests, and their families. My name is Walter Pollard. I am an 8th grade student at Tennyson Middle School. Since this event is to honor outstanding teachers, who better to speak about their influence than a student? And it is an honor that the speech was bestowed onto me. Teachers, they're all around us. They are not only in our schools, but members of our families, neighbors, and community members. They give words of wisdom to strengthen student minds and bring purpose to their chosen profession and lives. Teachers remember their childhood mistakes all too well and help students to correct their own. Teachers love life, find beauty in learning, and smile at even the smallest things. Teachers shape the future of students. Wow, what a lot of responsibility that is. I know that must influence teachers and how they think. I bet that is why they rethink how they teach and why they put so much effort into their students. I know my personal future has been altered due to the wonderful teachers I have had. I appreciate what they say and the time they give to me. There are many teachers here tonight who are being honored. And even though only one of them will ultimately be named Secondary Outstanding Teacher of the Year for Waco ISD, just like Miss Coons, a teacher from Tennyson Middle School, who was given that honor last year. All of those here are winners. Why? Because they made a choice to be called a teacher. They made a choice to make a difference. They went to college, graduated, signed a contract, and said, "Send me. I can do it. I will teach them, learn with them, care about them, and their futures." For that, I am thankful, as are all of the students here in Waco ISD, even though they might not say it. I promise they are thankful. Good luck, you all, and thank you.
Let's give both of them another round of applause. I am pleased to announce two very special awards. Each of the teachers will be presented a certificate of congratulations from Senator Brian Birdwell's office. They will also receive a heartfelt award given by the Paul and Jane Meyer Family Foundation. At this time, I would like to call to the stage Mrs. Yolanda Williams, Executive Director of Elementary Education, Mr. Rick Hartley, Executive Director of Middle Schools, and Dr. Robin McDurham, Executive Director of Secondary Education, to help with the honors. Teachers, as we recognize each of you, please come forward to the front of the stage. where Dr. Kane will present the Outstanding Teacher Award, and one of our school board members will present you with a rose, a check from the Paul and Jane Meyer Family Foundation, a certificate of congratulations from Senator Birdwell's office. And please remember to pause for your beautiful photo, and then you may return to your seat.
Joe Spark, Alta Vista Elementary 5th grade teacher. Principal Carmen Logan. Mrs. Sparks is a key player at Alta Vista Elementary. She mentors other staff and is always one of the first to volunteer. She has great relationships with her students and their parents. She is warm and caring, has high expectations for her kids, and makes learning fun. Her lessons are engaging, challenging, and fun at the same time. As Mrs. Sparks' principal, I am very proud to have her on the Alta Vista team. She is truly a joy to work with. Congratulations to Mrs. Joe Spark. Jennifer Garza, Bells Hill PDS 3rd grade teacher. Principal Bevel Cone. Jennifer Garza is an amazing teacher. She is always calm and understanding with her students. She works with each child to find out their specific needs, and then she finds ways to make them successful. When needed, she even has her own parents volunteer to tutor students. In addition to our Bells Hill students, she works with our Baylor interns to teach them more about being a successful teacher. Thank you, Mrs. Garza, for your dedication to our school and students for 22 years. Congratulations, Mrs. Jennifer Garza. Francisco Jimenez, Brook Avenue 3rd grade teacher, Principal Dara Deloney. A fellow teacher wrote, "When you open a picture dictionary and look up the word outstanding, next to the definition, you will find a picture of Mr. Jimenez. Even though he could have been an engineer, Mr. Jimenez chose to move to a new country and gain proficiency in a non-native language and live day after day in service of children, many of which come from poverty. He has excelled in every area of teaching, including classroom management, connecting with parents, quality instruction, utilizing instruction, and many other resources, and doing it all in not one, but 2 languages. He is a gift to Brook Avenue and to each student that gets the privilege of having him as a teacher. Congratulations, Mr. Francisco Jimenez." Jennifer Zane, Cedar Ridge 1st grade teacher, Principal Helen Smith. A fellow teacher wrote, "In every neighborhood across all of the country, there are good people insisting on a good start for the young and doing something about it. This describes Jennifer Zane's passion in assuring that young students in the Cedar Ridge neighborhood build a strong foundation for learning. Congratulations, Mrs. Jennifer Zane." Lysandra Ballard, Crestview Elementary 4th grade math and science teacher. Principal Brandon Cope. Her fellow teachers write, "It is an honor to talk about the many reasons why Lysandra Ballard is so deserving of the Outstanding Teacher Award. Miss Ballard has something that great teachers possess, the ability to make every student feel good about themselves. Her positive attitude about learning, coupled with her ability to connect with the students at their level, make her an inspiration in the classroom. Congratulations, Miss Lysandra Ballard." Lindsay Harness, Dean Highland Elementary kindergarten teacher, Principal Tia Allen. Her fellow teachers write, "Lindsay is dedicated to her students by planning fun and interactive lessons, which keep her students engaged. She is always eager and willing to help other staff members when needed. Lindsay builds a good rapport with her students' parents and staff. She has a positive impact on Dean Highland. We are glad she is a part of our team. Dean Highland Elementary is definitely a better place with Mrs. Lindsay Harness. Congratulations, Mrs. Lindsay Harness. Wendy Singletary, Hillcrest PDS first grade teacher. Principal Amy Matthews Perez. Students say she teaches right. Her classroom is pretty. She is helpful, nice, kind, real sweet, and real beautiful. She's the best teacher that ever lived. I like her brown hair. She gives us coupons to take off shoes, do technology, and bring a stuffed animal. She lets us do really cool stuff. She has a we. She loves us really a whole lot. She lets us write in our journal for a long time. She buys good snacks and always tells us jokes. She does fun things. She has beautiful earrings, and she helps us with our sight words. Congratulations, Mrs. Wendy Singletary. Leandria Stewart, J.H. Hines Elementary, third grade teacher. Principal Trey Hall. When teachers have the knowledge, passion, and enthusiasm for teaching and learning, they easily transform into great and outstanding teachers who challenge and motivate all students to become successful learners in the classroom. Mrs. Stewart knows how to develop a group of students into a community of learners where all the individual learners grow and flourish while at the same time holding extremely high expectations. This results in her students performing at the highest level, both behaviorally and academically. Mrs. Stewart helps her students understand that to be successful, hard work and determination are essential factors. Mrs. Stewart models for all of us what it means to be an outstanding professional educator. Congratulations, Leandria Stewart. Melissa Avance, Kendrick Elementary, kindergarten through 5th grade PE teacher. Principal Julie Sapal. If I was on a school version of Survivor, Melissa would be one of the first people I selected to be on my team. Her presence is that of the Pied Piper. Students follow her lead without her having to say a word. She can manage 100 kindergarten students by herself at a time and still have high-quality instruction taking place. Even though she teaches PE, she pulls in grade-level TEKs and reinforces them with students while they are in her class, all year long. She is a top-notch PE teacher, and Kendrick is blessed to have her. Congratulations, Mrs. Melissa Avance. Persia Manning, Lake Air Montessori, 1st through 3rd grades. Principal Stephanie Tankersley. A fellow teacher writes, when a child enters Miss Manning's class, they are just a wee little sprout peeking out of the ground, searching for light and nourishment. In Miss Manning's garden, she provides each of her sprouts the enlightenment of education and the nourishment of character that they need to blossom. She teaches them integrity so they may become gracious and courteous citizens in their community. She fosters their independence through self-control and determination. She provides a safe and joyful environment where everyone feels comfortable and loved. Miss Manning is a devoted, passionate, and loving educator whose success can be seen in the growth of her students. Congratulations, Miss Persia Manning. Judy Hahn, Mountain View Elementary, 2nd through 5th grade reading interventionist. Principal Melissa Pritchard. Judy Hahn is a master teacher. She not only takes care of the students' academic needs, but she also ensures that they have their basic needs met so that they can be able to learn. It never surprises me that she is doing something special for a student because they don't have something they need. She is in constant communication with parents and doesn't hesitate to pick up the phone, send a note, or make a home visit. Mrs. Hahn cares so much that her students can read successfully that she often tutors them during lunch, after school, and before school, often giving up her lunch and conference if it will make a difference in the child. Mrs. Hahn truly goes the extra mile, worthy of an outstanding teacher. Congratulations, Mrs. Judy Hahn. Jennifer Trout, Parkdale Elementary 4th grade teacher. Principal Marcia Henry. Her fellow teachers share, Jennifer has an unconditional love of her students, every single student. This causes them to love her and want to do their best. She's incredibly creative and covers curriculum thoroughly and goes over and beyond. She extends the students' learning by including additional information and visuals related to the subject and really bringing it to life for her students. Jennifer keeps in close contact with all of her students' parents from the beginning of the school year until the end. Congratulations, Miss Jennifer Trout. April Moat, Providence Heights Elementary 4th grade teacher, Principal Debbie Stevens. Her fellow teachers write, April is well organized, innovative, knowledgeable, and patient. She's always willing to help and share her knowledge, expertise, ideas, and materials with her peers. Miss Moat is a teacher leader. She is respected by her peers. She knows how to help a student be successful and is eager to share her ideas with others. She has high expectations for her students and sets the bar for other classrooms. Her students have fun learning because she has fun teaching. Congratulations, Miss April Moat. Christy Alexander, South Waco Elementary Pre-K teacher. Principal Tawana Lee. A parent shares, Mrs. Alexander is patient and very knowledgeable. My son loves Mrs. Alexander, and he loves going to school each day. Mrs. Alexander teaches more than academics. She also teaches students to show kindness and to be responsible. When I ask my son why he received a sticker on his daily report, he is always able to tell me, it's because I like being responsible. The life skills are being used and reinforced in the classroom every day. My son will leave pre-K knowing how to count, spell, and use life skills. Thank you, Mrs. Alexander, for teaching, loving, and showing my son how to be more responsible. Congratulations, Mrs. Christy Alexander. Valentisha Jacinto Evans, West Avenue Elementary, kindergarten through 5th grade PE teacher. Principal Joseph Alexander. Her fellow teachers share, this individual is an exemplary leader on the campus and in the community. She is always going above and beyond the call of duty to ensure that each individual student obtains every opportunity to fully realize his or her talents and gifts. Coach J is a soaring West Avenue Eagle. An eagle is the symbol of freedom and power. So with that being said, there is no West Avenue without Valentisha Jacinto Evans. Congratulations, Mrs. Valentisha Jacinto Evans.
Judy Powell, G.L. Wiley Opportunity Center, English, 9th through 12. Principal Larry Hawkins. Fellow teacher writes, Mrs. Powell is a wonderful English teacher. She really knows her subject. She's always ready for class. Students sit quietly and work in her classes. Learning is taking place under her guidance. Mrs. Powell is always willing to help other staff members. She is just a terrific person. I feel very blessed to know her. Congratulations, Mrs. Judy Powell. Jared Nazarian, Cesar Chavez Middle School, 8th grade math. Principal Anthony Luevanos. Mr. Nazarian is the gold standard of a great teacher. He possesses a personality that drives kids to perform and reach for the higher standards of achievement. As with every class, he strives to set an inspirational example for fellow teachers and is eager to use those instructional approaches that would maximize learning. Often, when you walk by Ms. Nazarian's classroom, you hear lively mathematics lessons where students are eagerly engaged and motivated. Students know what is expected of them, and they meet those expectations daily. We are proud to have him as our Teacher of the Year for Cesar Chavez Middle School. Congratulations, Mr. Nazarian. Shelby Lee, G.W. Carver Middle School, Science, 6th through 8th. Principal Alonzo McAdoo. A fellow teacher writes, "Congratulations, Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee exemplifies what an outstanding teacher should be. He's dedicated to teaching the whole child in the classroom as well as in all athletic sports. He relates his lessons to real-life examples that allow the material to make more logical sense to the students. The students are excited about his concepts and really take ownership towards learning in his class. Mr. Lee is a great mentor, coach, and coworker to all who have come in contact with him. I'm excited and elated he was chosen as the outstanding teacher for Carver Middle School. Congratulations, Mr. Shelby Lee." Reston Reitzinger, Indian Spring Middle School, Math and Algebra, 7th and 8th. Principal, Dr. John Jenkins. Mr. Reitzinger's talents in the classroom are unsurpassed. His ability to take complicated mathematical concepts, break the material down to connect to the students who have struggled with math for years is remarkable. Students normally at risk are authentically engaged, and those who excel in the area of mathematics bloom and grow under his tutelage. Reston Reitzinger is an invaluable asset to Indian Spring Middle School, and we are in awe of the smoothness and clarity that Mr. Glass provides through his instructional style. Congratulations, Mr. Reston Reitzinger. Kathleen Knight, Tennyson Middle School, 6th grade science. Principal, Lisa Hall. Mrs. Knight is a model teacher with a big smile and even bigger heart. She strives to meet the needs of each student and inspire her learners to try new ways of thinking. Her countless hours of work translate into countless blessings for her students and for Tennyson Middle School as a whole. She is caring, understanding, giving, and most of all, proud to call herself a teacher. We at Tennyson Middle School are proud to call her a Texan. Congratulations, Mrs. Kathleen Knight.
Jerry G. Williams, Brazos High Credit Recovery, 9th through 12th grade math teacher. Principal Keith Hanna states that Mr. Williams goes above and beyond in assisting all of our students at Brazos. His #1 goal is to get our students graduated and assist them in passing all of their state assessments. You can often hear Mr. Williams saying, "We got another one of my adopted children a credit." And while this could be heard and perceived perhaps as lip service, Mr. Williams truly believes that these are his children. He has an ability to build rapport with the most difficult students at a time when they may be behind in credits and wanting to leave high school altogether. Mr. Williams does not accept leaving as an option, and he makes sure that each of his students do not see giving up as an option either. Congratulations, Mr. Jerry Williams. Joe Rizzo, Greater Waco Advanced Manufacturing Academy, teaching robotics and electronics for 11th and 12th grade. Interim Director, Dr. Rudy Lopez. One of Mr. Rizzo's students from Waco High School attending Guama has stated that Mr. Rizzo gets at the student level and explains everything to us. Everything is hands-on. Right now, we're studying about the difference between LED and solar power. This is measured with a voltage meter. I'm glad I know that, and I'm glad I have Mr. Rizzo as a teacher. Congratulations, Mr. Joe Rizzo. Kevin Moore, University High School, 11th, 12th grade, AP Physics and Pre-AP Physics. Dr. Bill Shepard, Principal. One of Mr. Moore's students has stated, he interacts with us and brings physics down to a discussion. He's always there for us. He knows when something is wrong and stops to ask what's going on. He also knows when the work is about to kill us and stops to make sure we understand. He takes his job on a personal level and actually cares about his students. Congratulations, Dr. Kevin Moore. Stephen Petrie, Waco High School, 10th grade chemistry. Principal. Principal Ed Love says, Mr. Petrie is a young teacher that conducts himself like a veteran. He has very good classroom management skills, which is conducive to a safe learning environment. While doing walkthroughs, I've witnessed on all occasions student engagement, high-level questioning, and very high rigor. He's a hard worker and team player and is willing to do whatever it takes to see our students succeed. He's definitely a chip off the old block. Congratulations, Mr. Stephen Petrie.
Thank you again, Mrs. Yolanda Williams, Mr. Rick Hartley, and Dr. Robin McDurham for sharing those beautiful statements written about each of our outstanding teachers here on stage. We would like to invite everyone to join us in the foyer for refreshments provided by Child Nutrition Services Sodexo. But before we do that, teachers, please stand. I present to you the 2014-2015 Waco ISD Outstanding Teachers.